Hi, so this will be my very first video on reading a Reddit post and saying what I think about it, of am I being an arsehole, obviously. This one's on mental health. I thought I'd choose this as my first one because I know a lot, obviously. I have a lot to deal with mental health. So I shall start. Am I the arsehole for not wanting to go to a mental health ward? That's the title. My son, 15, has a friend who is currently in inpatient mental health treatment. Even though the patients are underage, visitors under 18 are not allowed, for whatever reason. My son asked me to go visit for him and give his friend some comics, a letter and a pizza. Apparently the food there is bad, but you can bring outside food to visits and patients can eat it during the visit. The thing is, I do not want to go. His parents go and see him most days and I'm sure they bring snacks. I told my son I would give them the comics and letter to give him. He said no because he doesn't trust them not to read his letter. Well, I don't really want to go to the hospital. I just don't feel comfortable. My son said that I'm being a judgmental arsehole, but I'm not judging his friend. I just don't want to go. I don't even know what I would say to him. Would I just sit in silence and watch him eat pizza? I told him to ask his dad, but my husband works weird hours and would only be able to go on the weekends, and apparently the parents always go on the weekends. My son is really disappointed in me and angry at me, but don't I have the right to have boundaries? He told me that I was lying when I said he can ask me for anything. He can ask, but this is one request I don't think I can fulfill. So, there's not a lot of context to this, is there? Because she's not really saying why. She's just saying she doesn't want to go. And she seems very stubborn and very to the point that she really does not want to go. Especially at the end when he's saying was it that she's lying because he can ask her for anything, but clearly not because she's saying no. She's not saying why. And I have a feeling it's to not piss off too many people. I have a feeling one of the comments I read later on, for example, was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, you know, the film. I think that is a very good point, because even though nowadays mental health has become a big thing and everyone knows about it now, or most of it is mainly about depression and stuff, but it's becoming a more common knowledge. But it's still, a lot of it is still not out there yet. Depression, yes. Anxiety, yes. But schizophrenia, bipolar, we're still judged. And I think mental health institutions are still, people see them as they were 20, 30 years ago. How you see in the movies where you get locked in cages and we're like animals and, not taboo. What's the word I'm looking for? It'll come to me. But I believe, she just has that notion in her head that it is exactly how they portrayed it in the films 30 years ago. And that's sad because it's not. I've been in one. It's not like that. The food is bad. I think the friend is absolutely awesome for wanting to do these things, because when you're in these kind of places, you need to see people from the outside world and realise that you're not alone and that people do care for you. So I think that's lovely that his mate wants to do that. And it's great that his friend, he can't do it, so he's come up with a plan. Unfortunately, his mother does not like the plan because she's just, judging and doesn't want to go. And I don't see this as boundaries or anything. It just seems like she just does not want to go. She has it in her head that it's just like how it used to be. And it's really not. And it's great how this kid's parents are going to visit him every day. At least he is, at least he knows he's not alone. And that's great. Because when I was in there, not a lot of people's families would visit. Not at all. So, I think that's great. Not on her part, but on the kid's parents. And, a lot of the comments are saying well, should she be allowed to go in? What are the rules? Different places, different rules. I'm sure the son figured it out. He's been told. He just doesn't want the letter going to the guy's parents. It's a letter between him and his friend, which is fair enough. There is an update, which I'll obviously read right now. Update. I read everyone's comments and a handful actually had productive feedback or information. Based on one person's ideas, I will schedule a time to go when my son isn't busy and then FaceTime him in the visiting area. He and his friend will get to have a mostly private face-to-face chat, and his friend will get to enjoy his pizza and he'll get his letter and comics. It'll be pretty much a visit between them, and I'll just be the chauffeur. Sorry, I cannot say that word. Basically, thank you to the people who responded in good faith and actually read the post before commenting, as few of you there were. You know what? I think that's great. That shows she's actually willing to help her son, to help him as a mother, because like someone else said as well, when you're a mother you have to do a lot of things that you don't want to do. Stuff like this. Not normally stuff like this you have to do, but situations, yeah, you got to do them. And that's a great way to do it. That way the son gets to see his friend and the friend gets to see him, and she's there for comfort and he gets his stuff. I like this story because it's got a happy ending. Doesn't happen often in Reddit, does it? But yeah, I think that's great. Because more needs to be done with mental health. It's not just depression and anxiety. There's so much more to it. Same with autism. My son's autistic. It's only coming out now, but now everyone's autistic. Don't get me started. Anyway, yeah, I think that's a good ending. Everyone's happy. And then maybe, because she hasn't said that she's been yet, that's what she's going to do. Unfortunately, there's not another update. But I'm hoping that will change her views on mental health institutes. Because it does need to be talked about more. It shouldn't be hidden in the shadows. Because the more it's hidden in the shadows, the more it gets acknowledged as a bad thing, and it's really not. It's helping people. That's my view. Anyway, thank you for listening.